Today, Precarious plays
Phantom Brave.
So the job is no problem, huh? That's a pretty bold statement, Marona.
Hey, we went toe-to-toe with the real one.
You think so? I just didn't want the people of Desert Island to worry.
I know, but we can't let our guard down. Our enemy's still out here, whoever he is.
You're right. But why would somebody pretend to be Raphael?
This is the second time so far. I wonder if that's normal when you're famous.
Probably is.
Famous identity theft, is that a thing?
Well, there are lots of Elvis impersonators.
Oh. Huh. That's astute of you to say, because I didn't even think of that as like a theft. That feels more like a performance.
Well, and I think once you're a public figure, it is, but also pretending to actually be Elvis instead of being like, I am doing an act, and then saying I'm Elvis. There's a difference between being in character and like going to a restaurant and being like, hey, I'm Elvis. Treat me good.
Not if you're doing it. Not if you're doing a good job. Not if you're being thorough. Not if you have any mind at all for craft.
But I mean ethically.
So this is bizarre because now these enemies are all closer to...
Oh my...
Like the level range is really broad because 22 to 29.
I love the face of that slime.
This one?
He's really
Yeah.
cute, and he's got a freckle, or maybe a shine spot.
All of the slimes
They're
are...
all pretty cute.
Yeah. Although what's
I
happening?
still don't like Gudra.
What kind of gang war have we walked in on? Like I feel like all of the yellow slimes and their rock friend should be doing like a gooey like snap walk. They're like cha cha cha. You rolled into the wrong yellow part of town. And then I guess these guys are like, we come from Cactusburg. And we're gonna needle ya.
All right, time to interrupt that.
Yeah, you go.
Are we like the police then?
No. So
Everybody scatter.
it doesn't matter. You talk about the thing that I asked you about before, the very complicated question of why so much media seems to try to address social insecurities.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, there are layers to that because I think that there's something specific that you're talking about. Like, I think there's a specific type of finding your place within reality story that you like and that I like that there seem to be a lot of. But I think that it's essentially human to go through a period of trying to figure yourself out. Mm-hmm. I think that is an as close to a innate human experience as there can possibly be. I think that it's part of brain development for children. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of sociological study that goes into figuring out at what point you have to go through that mentally, where you figure out that you are apart from everyone else in the world and they can see you in the same way you can see them. It's like that recognition of other people. And from there on, you go through a downward spiral because you're trying to figure out what that even means to you as a conscious being. And then you have to deal with whatever amount of positive or negative feedback you're getting from all of those others that happens as just a result of reality. And then you have to process that. It's just a whole thing, and it's just essentially human.
So what you're telling me is consume less human-produced media.
Yeah, so I would recommend there are a lot of paintings by animals that they're more human produced than human authored, so you might be able to get away from some of those storylines there. There's an elephant that paints. I follow a bug on Twitter that draws. He's a staghorn beetle, and people will put a little pen in his little staghorns, and he bites it, and then he walks around.
Wouldn't you say? I feel like that falls into the same category of, like the arm, like the mechanical arm that will draw on walls.
Yes, it might.
Where it feels too polluted by human
humanity.
Bias. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's another thing. I recently saw this on one of the social media channels that I subscribe to. There was a family who fed crows on a regular basis, and the crows, at will, started bringing them presents. And then recently, 2 days in a row, the crows brought them a branch from a spruce tree with a pop tab laced onto it. Roughly the same size both times. That's art, right? It's not for any purpose. It's not going to feed anybody. It's something that those animals thought, wow, that's pretty. I'm going to bring it to my friends.
What if they're what if they see some sort of reinforcement value to it?
But it's not. There wasn't any. There was no...
No one was building a nest?
No one was building a nest. It was just... They had been feeding the crows for a long time, unconditionally, and then the crows would bring them things every once in a while. You know how, like... It would also be similar to a cat bringing a mouse nose and leaving it on your front porch. Like...
A mouse nose?
Has that... I mean, cats are bad, okay? That happened to me once.
I had friends...
Actually, it was a rabbit's nose. Like, it was like the nose part of a rabbit. It was not even the whole head. It was the nose. It was really not good.
That is bad for them to have done.
But no, because it's not even like that, because the crows don't eat pop tabs or spruce branches, you know? So it wasn't even like an in-kind favor. Like, you feed the cat brings you a rabbit nose. It's like an exchange. It's not even an in-kind favor. It's like a birthday card almost.
Now, hold on now. No, just hold on a second. Because don't birds of that type very famously collect junk?
A lot of birds...
Shiny junk?
A lot of birds have a fondness for shininess, and they use it to... for some kind of social capital. But I mean, like, don't we all? Really?
Well, maybe... No, I can't agree that it was purely art, because here's an interesting idea. Mm-hmm. What if it wasn't art? What if it was currency?
We have no way to tell.
Did you try
at this
asking?
Point, I didn't.
You just asked.
I've thought a lot.
Why didn't you personally ask?
I've thought a lot about this in the last 24 hours, and it just so happens that you brought up something that could touch on this subject. But it's one of those things that is very interesting to me, and so I would also suggest looking at any bird whose nesting habits and success at mating are dependent on having an aesthetically pleasing display of some kind that isn't strictly grown off of their backs. Like those birds that like to collect blue things, just all the blue things, and the bird with the most blue things gets all the tail, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so, but that still misses a narrative, so I don't know, I've yet to see anything even remotely touch on having a narrative that wasn't produced by humans, so... I mean,
I can think of something.
Singular creatures.
I can think of something.
Yeah, what's that?
If you see, well, it can't be a photograph. It has to be something that you observe firsthand. But if you see a tree splintered by lightning in the woods, that's something that wasn't produced by humanity that
All right.
conveys a narrative.
Right, but
We have the show that wasn't made by humanity that conveys a narrative.
yeah, there is that. Although the show, sorry, I was gonna make a bad joke. The show, I was gonna say the show is much like the lightning, in which it lacks intention. No, I'm
Is
just
it
kidding.
the end of the episode yet?
Not quite.
Because someone, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but someone's got some heavy chastisement coming right down the pipeline.
Well, so that was part one of my thesis, though. Part one of my thesis, part one of explaining my thesis of people are terrible. And that's why we have so many stories about finding your place in the world. It is a very essential human experience to go through that type of struggle, to figure out what the heck you are and what the heck you're surrounded by and what on earth does that mean for you. That's just humanity. But
So humans are mean to other humans.
that's part
And
two.
I can't stop watching it.
That's part two. Yes, part two happens later.